Frank, I'm very proud to honor you or to introduce you to the Hall of Fame. It's one of the greatest, I guess, adventures that we'll go on. Tell you a little about Frank. Everyone's read his resume that he had in the brochure, but you don't know the rest of the story on this broken nose deal. Frank, I think, came out to stages about midway in the second quarter, and he says, "I got something red in my eye, Coach." And he looked at him, he said, "No, there's nothing wrong with your nose, Frank. I think you just got a sty." So Frank went back in and kept playing with that broken nose. And then I think about the third quarter, somewhere around there, Coach came out to the coach and said, "Coach, I think there's something wrong with my face mask. It's crooked." He said, "No, that's not your nose. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that face mask you got. It's just you got to adjust it." So anyway, Frank played the whole game with that broken nose, and you know, Coach Stage is one of our great coaches. Also, another time that I guess Frank got the coaches. We were in Houston at just got through beating Reagan, and Frank was kind of encouraged to tear a phone book up. So the Houston phone book's a pretty good sized phone book. So, you know, nobody thought Frank could do it. Well, Frank just tore the phone book in half. And, you know, everybody went on their way, couldn't believe it. And then the next day, Coach called him into the office. He said, "Frank, I heard you tore a phone book up." Frank said, "Yeah, Coach, I did. And really, I'm sorry I did it, and I'd be more than happy to pay for it." He said, "No, I just want to see you do it." So he gave him another phone book. Frank tore it up again. But Frank was probably one of the greatest ones to have as a running back to have in front of you because you knew that whoever he was that he was going to hit, you weren't going to have to worry about that guy. But it's my great honor to honor you, Frank, into the Hall of Fame. Welcome to our club.
That's not exactly the way the deal went about the broken nose. See, Coach Davis, he was something else. Everybody loved him to death. I mean, I've gotten fights just because somebody would say something bad about Coach Davis. I'd knock the hell out of him. I didn't think that. Anyway, this was about the first quarter. And we was playing in the state championship game. And we was playing Eddleman. It was early in the game, and my good buddy Bobby Oliver, was number 25, one of the great defensive players on our team. He come across the inside of the tackle and kicked the devil out of my nose and hit this skunk-proof face mask that Stages invented. It's supposed to keep his nose from getting broke, you know. But he smeared it all inside my face. And so anyway, I went out and I went to the coach. I said, "Coach, I think my nose broke." He said, just like Garrett said, he said, "No, Frank, it's just a sty." I said, "A sty?" Anyway, so I sat out a couple of plays and I went back in and played the rest of the game and ended up having to come out with about 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. That's back when we was playing both ways, you know. But anyway, I want to tell you one thing about that game is we actually should have won it. You know, you hear all these kind of stories, but it's things you live with all your life. You think about it, you dream about it. I dream about Bobby Oliver breaking my nose all the time. I have to wear a CPAP machine now and breathe right strips every night. I think I make breathe right rich. But anyway, we were down in the first quarter. We're down on the 1 foot line, and we didn't score. But actually, our forward progress went across the line. And the reason I know this is because the coach that signed me at University of Houston, his name was Hank Watkins, and he was a line coach at Abilene. And while I was at Houston, he told me, he said, "You know, Eddleman," he says, "y'all scored." He said he went across, and then he was pushed back, but our forward progress was across. So actually, it would have been 7-0 then. then that could have changed the whole complexion of the game. But what happened in the next play, something between our center, Max Christian, God rest his soul, he's passed on. In fact, 4 of our starting team that year have passed on, and God bless all of them. But something happened between Max Christian and Arthur McCallum, which he died in a Navy jet plane out to Gulf of Mexico. But anyway, something happened. We fumbled. They recovered on the 4, and then they ran 96 yards for a touchdown the next play. And somewhere again, they made another 80-something yard touchdown, and then they beat us 14-0. So that's something that you live with the rest of your life. We had the best team since 1938, and then the 1959 team, they come in one state, and then old Butch's bunch, Ladwick, my buddy back there, his team won it in 1960. But I guess that's all I want to say about that. I just think about it all the time. You know? I want to thank everybody that had anything to do with getting me inducted into this, and Bonita offices and Estella for doing all the work that she did and everything. And I'd like to kind of go down memory lane real quick. I started playing football at Winseal in the 8th grade, and our coach there was Gerald Cook and A.J. Luquette. I don't know whatever happened to Gerald Cook, but Luquette's dying of cancer in Amarillo, but he couldn't be here. Then in the 9th grade, I went to Hamlin, and that was the first year that they opened. I was the first little graduating class of Hamlin, I guess you could say. That no good Driscoll, led by Butch Ladwick over there, beat us out of the championship. But I had to have Butch here from Miller. He my best buddy, and he was a terrible guy. I tell you what, every time he'd leave, come across the tracks headed towards the ring, we'd start honking horns, because start protecting our girlfriends, because I tell you what, he was taking all our girls away from us. Oh, Lord. But he was a heck of an athlete. I mean, all kidding aside, Butch is a great guy. And another Butch is sitting right over with him, Butch Presley from, I ended up going to mortuary school and becoming an undertaker. Oh, Lord. Now I have 2 daughters that are nurses, and I have a son that's an undertaker. Isn't that something? Oh, well. Okay, I just want to thank everybody that had anything to do with this. I appreciate it. And I've joined in the ranks of a selected group, and I'm totally honored that I'll have a little niche here, right? And I'll never forget it. I want to thank introduce you to my children and my family that came. I have